I would say this is now our favorite segment. Last week we said it's becoming one of our favorite segments. I'd say it's our favorite
It's
segment.
my favorite, but I also am the one that leads it, so
Yeah,
I get to
I
do
enjoy
what
it
I
a
want.
lot. It's very fun. It's very goofy. It's one of the segments that like the viewers have participation in. Follow us on Twitter, Tech Fowl Pod.
And you can buy and sell in the chat as well.
Yeah, participate, if you're buying or selling. But yeah, you take it away, Jack.
Bet. First one, South Carolina, buy or sell. South Carolina finishes above 500, so they reach 7 wins.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let me look at South Carolina's
let's look
schedule.
at South Carolina's schedule. I already
They
heard
were
this
7.5, over under 7.5 going into the season, and now they lost a game that was probably one of their more winnable SEC games.
Absolutely.
The health of Lenore Sellers is in question, not a long-term issue, but just something to consider, and they've just not really looked great at all to start this season. Quick tangent, by the way, to y'all, too. I don't know if you saw this. Joe Burrow is expected to miss about 3 months due to a bad turf toe injury.
I thought it was 3 weeks. I saw 3 weeks the other day.
I saw 3 months. So he's going to miss a hot minute. And my boy Anson Hendrick just pulled off a trade for him this morning, so he's very frustrated.
Tough scene.
But yeah, does South Carolina hit the 7-win mark this season?
No way. This morning.
This morning the trade went through.
Oh wait, I did that this morning too, so I can't actually. Me and Chromie pulled off a trade for him yesterday. So
Yeah.
screw me. We're in this together, Anson. I'm gonna go text him after this show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Sucks. Okay, buying, sell South Carolina to get to 7 wins. I'm gonna sell. They've got a tough schedule left ahead of them. If you look at their schedule, they go to Missouri, and then they got Kentucky at home. I think that's a win. They go to LSU, Oklahoma at home, Alabama at home. Go to Ole Miss. That's in November. JP, we talked about that earlier. Go to A&M.
Yeah.
Coastal at home. That's a win. Clemson at home. I'll give that to them. Clemson does not look great. That's 5 wins. Yeah.
Well, I'm just giving them Clemson's bold, but I
Okay.
get you're trying to
I
I'm
establish
just
a
trying.
case.
100%
I'm
bold.
just. It is bold, but I'm just trying to like
I'm trying to lay out a path. So
lay
I'll
out
let
the
it
path.
slide.
That's 5 wins, and then you've got to get 2 wins against every other opponent on their schedule.
One of your
is
4
ranked.
road games, you probably have to win one of them. You have 2 Cocktober games with Oklahoma and Alabama, so you'd hope you get those, but reality, you probably only get one of the Cocktober ones. So that means you need to beat, if you've already won the Palmetto Bowl against Clemson, you need to win at Missouri, at LSU, at Old Piss, or at A&M. I'm going to say that I'm curious what the odds would be, because that kind of influences whether or not I buy or sell. But I'm gonna sell, and I'm selling because I want it to happen. I need Lenore's to continue to lose games and fall deeper down the slope. Although it looks like the team that wears black and gold in the state of Louisiana may not win a single game this year. They did have now 2 straight games where they had the ball with a chance to either tie or take the lead. So I imagine they're going to win more games than the team that loses the most games this year.
Yeah. I'm also gonna.
So I'm going to sell.
I'm also gonna sell. It's just hard to see 7 wins with the schedule and the product they put on the field currently, or so up to date.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I don't know the status of Lenore Sellers currently. Missouri, at Missouri, 6 o'clock kickoff. If Sellers is a no-go or even like 90%, 80%, the way Missouri has looked with Bo Perbula, I think that's a loss. They have looked fantastic offensively.
Sure.
Bo Perbula has looked fantastic, so I'm also going to sell.
I'm going to say, though, I think we're in for, with what I've seen these 3 weeks, we're in for chaos.
Sure.
In the SEC, and so I think anything is possible for literally any team outside of Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, you also, it's like the thing of, it's tough to sell on Lenore's because I know he's had a slow start to the season, but you kind of feel like he's going to win them a game they really shouldn't win.
And they had a slow start to last season.
Correct.
In
That is
fact,
true. And
if
the
I'm
year
not
before that.
mistaken, they were 3-3, ended up winning their last 6 games. So
Yeah. Shane Beamer's turned it around before.
this is a team that could very easily do that, and they were a team that was started slow, 3-3, and were in conversation for being the last team in for the playoffs. So I think anything's possible, but I agree with all of y'all, and it seems like the chat right now, except for Mont.
Well, Mont's just saying that he beat me in college football Friday night. But we agreed that game was going to be annulled because I was not at 100% while we were playing. So
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Harris. It's tough. R.I.P. Zach Calzada. His starting campaign lasted
no,
2
Harris
weeks.
Harris is excited. Harris is very frustrated. Brief tangent. Harris is my brother, big Kentucky fan. Very frustrated with Kentucky's history of bringing in one-year Band-Aid quarterbacks. Will Levis, and then they got a guy from Penn State, or was Will Levis from Penn State?
Devin Leary.
Devin
Levis was
Leary.
Penn State.
They brought in the Georgia guy, and then now they brought in this most recent guy. He's like, I just want to why are we not starting the redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore? See what he has, give him a chance. They started him.
I think they could grab Nico.
Yeah, I think that
Nico is probably looking to transfer at this point because
Honestly.
UCLA no longer has a head coach.
Yes.
we can buy and sell Nico entering the portal in a little bit, but
That's the buy button, by the way.
Anyway, so Harris is, I think, excited to see a not
Fair.
senior transfer who's going to be here for
Sure.
a year starting.
Maybe
so,
that'll happen.
We're gonna hop around on this list to our next one
Go ahead.
because the chat has kind of already spoiled it, and that's Shane Beamer will be the next head coach at Virginia Tech. Buy or sell. His dad was head coach there for 30 years.
Yep.
Okay.
Very ingrained in the family. They fire their head coach today, or it's I don't know if they've officially fired him, but Pete Thamel and stuff are reporting that he's gonna get fired.
Mm-hmm.
He's out the door. They just got blown out by Old Dominion, and I think this is a big wake-up call for Virginia Tech and their boosters of being our football program has really fallen, and they're going to try and make a splash higher. Buy or sell this, guys?
I don't buy it, and therefore I will sell it. I think that Shane Beamer at South Carolina works. I think the culture there, the whole Beamer ball thing works. I don't think that they're ever going to be the top tier of the SEC, but I also don't know that he would ever be able to get Virginia Tech to the top tier of the ACC with the Clemsons, Miamis, Florida States up there.
Easier to do it in the SEC.
That is true. Is that there is it's probably closer and an easier bridge to gap. But I think the culture of Beamer ball, South Carolina, Cocktober, it all just clicks, and I think it makes too much sense. I would hate to see him leave. My mom was beating Virginia Tech his job interview.
It might have been.
That's definitely a possibility. But I'm gonna sell because I just don't see him. I don't want to see him leave South Carolina. I love him there and I love the culture there, but I don't see him leaving.
Yeah. I also don't see him leaving. I mean, people are already releasing, coaching boards for him, and he's been on the list. And I'm sure they may make a call, and I think he will potentially be tempted to leave. But I think he likes South Carolina too much. They like him too much. Maybe if this season just ends up being a disaster, he jumps ship to Virginia Tech. But I don't know if I said Virginia Tech's gonna be serious about this coaching search and look to make a splash. I still don't think they can do enough to lure him away from South Carolina. So I'm gonna sell. As much as I do actually kind of want it to happen because I think it'd be a really cool storyline. Yeah. So I'm gonna sell.
I'm buying the crap out of it.
Okay.
I would buy a ton of it. The biggest problems right now with Brent Pry and Virginia Tech is that they don't recruit well in their state, and their state has good talent. Virginia Tech, out of just this class, only secured 2 of the top 15 recruits in their own state. And I think Beamer would recruit well at Virginia Tech, and there's enough talent in that area that they would be able to be competitive in the ACC. They have one of the best environments in college football, and it's a damn shame that they haven't had a good program in a while, especially since Frank Beamer retired. So I completely buy it. With his interaction he had with his father after beating Virginia Tech, you could tell it was basically what he said was that it looked like it was a man that kind of sucked beating the team that your dad coached for so long.
Well, because
so
Shane Beamer's a huge fan of that team because his dad was there for so long. He grew up.
Absolutely.
I also didn't realize, Tucker, that Beamer ball started at Virginia Tech.
Yes, Frank Beamer is one of the winningest coaches in college football history. He did coach for a ton of years, so that helps. He's also the winningest coach at Virginia Tech. It's a program that's had good success, and they deserve to have good success. They have the makeup. They have the investment to make that possible. There was a ton of hype in this team a year ago, and you lose a kind of an inexplicable game to Vanderbilt, and then whatever the hell happened this year, going 0-3 to start the year, losing to South Carolina and Vandy kind of make sense
I
maybe
think
a little
players
bit.
quit after week 1.
But to lose to Old Dominion was kind of that's inexplicable. That
Yeah.
deserves to get you fired almost
Didn't they get
immediately.
blown out by
It
Old
was not
Dominion?
close.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I thought.
they were down 28-0 at one point, and I'm sure it got worse. But I'm buying.
Sure.
I think Shane has had his struggles at South Carolina, and to have the success that he's had has actually kind of been, I think, a credit to him. But nothing is guaranteed in that conference, and I think that is being kind of seen.
Sure.
Think of Mark Stoops with Kentucky. That has always kind of felt like it's been a consistent program, and then the state of that team right now. And that could very easily happen with South Carolina. Like, Lenore Sellers is leaving after this year.
Who knows who's next?
Who knows who the quarterback is going to be next? Like, the quarterbacks, like last year, Robbie Ashford was their big transfer-in quarterback, and thankfully Lenore is able to pop as a redshirt freshman, but Robbie Ashford is your starting quarterback. When the games that occurred was not very successful, so nothing is guaranteed where he is. This is your one opportunity. This is realistically your one opportunity. You'd hope, or at least for Virginia Tech fans, they would hope for 5 to 10 years they don't have to fill this job again. So this feels like the perfect opportunity to go ahead and take that chance. And with the way that college football is right now, I think it's a perfect chance to go there and still be able to find success early, because it's different to like Bill Belichick. It's not a new environment for him. It's an environment he grew up in. It's an environment his dad coached at. And so he should be able to find success early on.
Sure.
And he should, with his pedigree that he's built at South Carolina, he, I think, would find success early on. So I'm buying. I think it makes a ton of sense for Virginia Tech. I think it makes a ton of sense for Shane. And I just feel like nothing is guaranteed at South Carolina.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Real quick before we move on, Bob Chesney, JMU's head coach, just got mentioned in the chat by Tucker. I also think that'd be a great hire. And then if I was Shane Beamer, I would take this job. I just don't know, because I think it's a smart move.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like he needs to get out while he can at South Carolina.
Message Board Genius, which one of my favorite Twitter accounts, has Urban Meyer. This is the big board, or the hot board, whatever you're going to call it. The coach hot board. Urban Meyer, Jimbo Fisher, Ed Orgeron, Hugh Freeze, Eli Drinkowitz, and Lincoln Riley. So that's according to Message Board Geniuses.
Crazy.
These
What
are
a list.
These are
That
insiders.
sounds like
These are insiders
the
that we're
list
talking to.
that Florida had after losing to South Florida that got released by Message Board
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, I agree, Jack. I would take that job too if I'm Shane Beamer. Also, Central Michigan's about to win the MAC for the next 2 years, and I will be coming to South Carolina in 2 years, so he's going to be kicked out pretty soon anyway.
Sure.
I am the
Gotta
head,
get out
head
while you
coach
can.
at South Carolina right now
Got to get out while you can.
in the 2028 season. So
Cool.
So the Falcons just kicked their third red zone field goal.
They can't finish drives. They're
They
letting
are
J.J.
cooking.
McCarthy hang around. We're about to get a repeat of week 1.
Yep. Continue.
This is my next question. I don't love the question, but I want to just be able to bring up this topic to discuss. 2026 QB draft class will produce 3. See, that just seems so high, but 3 or more long-term NFL starters. And I really bring this up because we've seen Cade struggles and Garrett Nussmeier have some struggles, and Drew Aller still have some of his inconsistencies pop up, and Lenore Sellers had a slow start to the season. And so I just kind of want to be able to discuss all these guys as a group and just kind of evaluate them and what we see for them as kind of this class that we thought was going to be a really deep draft class, and it's kind of sputtered out of the gate.
let's say long-term starters, they get to a second contract with their team.
I said they get to their second contract with their team
As
and
a
like
starter.
still have a chance at least to start. Maybe you don't have to be like the locked-in starter, but like if you, because it'd be a long-term start in the league. If you're at your second contract and you're like guaranteed bench guy,
I think
that's
you're not
a
really
starter.
rare to see that. I think.
What do you mean?
To get your second contract with the team that drafted you and you're still not the starter.
No, you don't have to get to this. So you're sorry. You said team. You get to the second contract with the team you got drafted
With the
for.
team you got drafted by.
I missed the draft
Okay.
part. I thought you said just get a second contract.
Yeah,
in the
second
league.
contract,
That's my
yeah, that
apologies.
happens a ton.
Apologies. So, yes, get to the second contract with the team you got drafted by. I like that clarification because we were going to have to make a set on it. I'm going to sell. I think 3 is high because 3 is really high for any draft class, to be honest. Even though there are a lot of theoretically talented guys here.
Yeah, I would not buy. I'd sell as well. I think there's a ton of like high ceiling guys.
Yeah.
It's a good mix. It's a good high floor guys and high ceiling guys. But I just think a quarterback is just such a position that gets turned around a ton. And even with like in recent memory right now, if you think high ceiling guys that got drafted, Anthony Richardson, high ceiling. Of course, that was miserable.
Yeah.
Will Levis, I think, for me, it felt like he was a high ceiling guy with how strong he was in his processing. Like it never felt like he was a floor guy. That obviously had no success. So I think, and we are, at least it seems like recent memory, number 1 overall picks aren't doing well either.
Yeah.
With Bryce Young and Caleb Williams. So even like the best guy in the class, if it's Lenore Sellers, is not guaranteed whatsoever. Like I don't think Bryce Young's going to get a second contract with the way he's playing right now, especially. So I'm going to sell. I think 1 or 2 could do it, and I think 1 or 2 will do it. But
Sure.
if
Someone has to hit from this class, even though
Absolutely.
they've all kind of gotten off to a slow start, or at least the top guys have. Fernando Mendoza, statistically has been great at Indiana so far. Carson Beck has
I
looked
still
like
don't
he's
get that hype.
resurgent. That's why I said statistically.
Mendoza is the 23rd rated prospect on PFF right now.
Carson Beck, is
Too
looked
high
good.
for you?
Mateer's off to a hot start. I don't really include
And
Arch in this
Sam
discussion.
Levitt is looking a little Mahomey.
Look, he plays
What
Frogger on the field.
Fernando Mendoza is 23rd, and Taylon Green is 180 right now. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think my biggest this is such a tangent. My biggest beef with PFF's big board is I don't feel like because I get it's a big board and not a mock, but like they don't look at it in the same lens that NFL scouts look at it all the time, if that makes sense. Example, like NFL scouts and like front officers are gonna love the toolsiness of Taylon Green that Mendoza doesn't necessarily have. Similar, they love Torrey New York and A&M linebacker, who is just so physically handicapped that like they have him. Some people have him. PFF guys have him as like their second best linebacker or third best linebacker in the class. He just isn't going to go that high because he doesn't have the tools. So I think that's kind of where it comes from, in my opinion.
Andrew, I completely forgot about your challenge to use the phrase "little Mahomey." I've just been using it a lot recently because we've seen a lot of guys making Mahomey plays. But yeah, so I accidentally completed that challenge.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm also gonna sell.
It makes no sense to buy this. I just wanted to
I
bring
agree.
the discussion
I
up.
don't even. So I feel like a big indicator is right now. I feel like there's only one guy who's like really trending up, and that's John Mateer. I feel like everyone else is either holding ground or even trending down. Arch Manning trending down. We've seen some poor performance from him to start.
I don't even include him in this class at this point.
I agree. I
So-
agree. And I think you could say the same for Sam Levitt. I really think that he's going to end up staying another year unless he decides that losing his number 1 wide receiver means that he's going to either. I could see him transferring to somewhere else if he doesn't like the weapons he has at Arizona State next year. But I could see him staying. Nico Imaliava has not been playing well. Carson Beck, I would say, is trending up. But like the big riser is John Mateer. So I think he's kind of like the only guy who's like really
Sure.
surprisingly
I think
popped.
Nuss is not surprisingly pop, but I think his pick against Florida was terrible. I almost said the F word. That's how bad it was. But I thought with the way he played in the Clemson game that he has raised his stock. He has raised his stock from a PFF perspective.
He made quite the impression with that Clemson game.
Absolutely, but just with the way he managed that game as a quarterback. But yeah, John Mateer is really the only one that's trending up, and we haven't even gotten to conference play, which is actually pretty concerning for the class that we were kind of being promised. It makes me happy as a fan of that team right there, because now it kind of makes me feel like we could get really anybody, and we just kind of have to hit on someone.
Don't mess it up.
But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I agree, Jack. No reason to buy unless you just get really good value on
If it were 2, would you buy?
Yes.
We were between making it 2 and making it 3, and it kind of just felt like either one you made it,
If it were
was-
2, I'd buy because I think Lenora Sellers and Drew Aller are
Sure.
going to get to their second contract. I think that for me feels almost guaranteed, and then I just have to need one more guy.
You would need for 2.
I
you
wouldn't even
wouldn't
need one more guy.
Yeah,
so
correct.
yeah.
So for
I
3, you would only need
I
one
only
more
need
guy.
one more guy, and I just don't trust that with the way the quarterback
'Cause
position
also,
kind of revolves.
As no matter how confident you are about those 2 guys, like it's just never a sure thing about NFL.
and they're not
so-
guaranteed. Yes,
Correct. Exactly.
With the way Caleb and Bryce Young are playing, like I said earlier.
All right, we got a couple fan ones here that I've included just to give the fans some love. I'm not. These aren't the most insane buy or sells. Chromie has requested another Houston one, so Houston will win 8 games, buy or sell. They're at 3-0. They have some winnable games still left on their schedule.
I gotta
They've
pull up
looked
their
solid, I guess. Nothing crazy impressive, but they are 3-0.
I'll say 3-0 with, I would say, not one of the most impressive resumes.
No.
Beating
No.
Stephen
SF
F.
Austin, beating Food, and then
Hey, it was a road game, and they beat them by a lot. So
beating Colorado with MLK Stubb starting at quarterback. 8 games is what would he have to
They
buy?
need
And
5
Yes.
more.
So you still have to play Baylor. You still have to play TCU. You still have to play Texas Tech. You get to play Oklahoma State.
You get to play Oregon State as well,
and UCF.
and UCF.
I'm gonna buy. I think they could get to 8 wins.
I'm also gonna buy. 'cause
unironically.
They got some. They've played some easy games already, and they got a lot more left. So I'm gonna buy.
Do
here.
they have a lot? I feel like they only have 2 more.
They got
3.
3.
3
They got
easy ones
3,
left.
and then you just need 2. It's the Big 12. Anything can happen.
True.
And I think they would. I think they could pull off two more upsets.
And they are like. I know their resume's not impressive yet, but they definitely are improved from last year, in my opinion. Like
For
they
sure.
are a better team.
For
But
sure.
I'll buy.
I will also buy. This I guess this is a shout out to Chromie. Do you think if we buy, we can stop doing Houston buys and sells on the weekly?
I doubt it.
No.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, Houston to win the Big 12. Houston. Yeah.
This
it's-
may just become a weekly one, honestly, where we just.
Well, the fans, I mean, they're buying.
Facts.
Andrew McBride, buy. Montgomery, go Cougars, buy. So apparently, we're a Houston podcast now.
Yeah.
So
I may just leave this one in the notes app as we just revisit Houston.
just
8
move the
wins.
win total up.
We'll probably we'll revisit 8 wins at least for the next couple weeks. Eventually, it'll become implausible, but we're all buying that one. This one is courtesy of my brother-in-law Ryan Steele. This probably the easiest sell we ever have on the
Correct.
history of this segment. But
I went so far as to find data to back up my sell. So
that's crazy because it's just not necessary. Mario Craver to win the Heisman. Had a big game against Notre Dame. Currently leads wide receivers in receiving yards. I'm going to sell because there's just no shot, really. But
That's
he is a
good-
fantastic player.
good
Let
data.
me see if I can find the odds on that real quick.
My research is last time we had back-to-back non-quarterback Heisman winners was 1998 to 1999.
It's not too terribly long ago. Mario Craver was almost born
25 years, yeah, almost born. 25 years ago. No, we're gonna. A quarterback's gonna win it. I mean, if 10 years of the Chiefs winning the AFC West is enough data to pick the Chiefs, then
Sure.
25 years of not back-to-back quarterbacks should be enough data to pick a quarterback to win this
So-
year.
Casey Concepcion has better odds than him, as Mario Craver does not have any odds.
Wow.
On FanDuel, Casey has the better odds.
Marcel Reed Slater
The
in
highest-
the chat is crazy.
Wide receiver is, of course, Jeremiah Smith.
Second is Ryan Williams.
No, second is Jordan Tyson.
Oh,
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
don't, unless I missed him. Ahmad Hardy and Jeremiah Love. You got a few running backs that are in that kind of conversation. But no, Ryan Williams is not on here
Valid.
at all. In
Really?
fact, Mark Gronowski has better odds than Ryan Williams to win the Heisman, which
that's great.
that is what is being offered.
great. That's great Mark Gronowski value right there.
Mark
is
Gronowski,
pretty
who
good
still
Mark
hasn't
Gronowski's
thrown
good.
for 100 yards passing.
I was going to say, what did he do this weekend?
Was it a buy?
I'm not
Oh,
sure. that they-
47-7 against UMass.
How many?
That's a big
Please.
win.
Did he get like 3-4 passing touchdowns?
2 TDs from Gronowski. I don't know if they were passing or not.
179 yards, both passing.
All right,
Both
so
So
passing.
he
we go.
cooked.
There's
That's
a
why his
big
odds
two.
are that
Yeah.
high.
So he's up to 4 on the season. Still got 9 games to go. Is that 4? Right, 2 in the first 2 weeks, and then 2 this week.
Yeah, I got 9.
Yeah.
All right, 4 down, 6 to go over the next 9 weeks.
3 down, 9 to go.
He had 1.
Oh, he had 1.
2 touchdowns
Okay.
on
Oh,
passing
touchdowns.
through 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, it's just passing.
It's just passing. So
Yeah.
he's at 3 passing
at 3.
touchdowns through 3 weeks. That's a good pace.
He's
That's,
hitting 10 easily.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling confident in that one. Okay, next buy or sell, courtesy of JP. He just texted Alabama, so I didn't exactly know what he wanted it to be. But we're just revisiting one from a couple weeks ago, which was Alabama to make college football playoffs. I bought at the time. There's nothing that has happened since to make me change my mind, so I'm just going to buy again.
You might have got them at really good value after that Florida State loss. I think that I think I'm going to have to sell here. I think that that's going to be better value than buying because after 2 big wins against Yale Monroe and Wisconsin, I feel like I'm going to get better value selling than I will buying.
Buying now, or is the odds are only going to get worse?
Right, but I'm still nervous about their schedule
Yeah, I know.
against the dual threat quarterbacks. Because as much as they looked fantastic against Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin,
Louisiana Monroe QB, he runs a 4.1 40. Don't look it up.
don't trust
Don't
sources,
fact check
trust
me
me,
on
bro.
that one. Yeah,
Trust me, bro.
sources.
Per source.
No, I'm just nervous about what's going to look like when they play an actual football team. That's not this Wisconsin Big Ten team is probably equivalent to some of the SEC teams we have in our conference, but Vanderbilt still on the schedule, South Carolina still on the schedule, I believe Missouri still on the schedule.
Yep.
There are some doozies on the Oklahoma still on the schedule. I'm gonna have to sell.
Sure. I'm not buying either. I'm selling. And I disagree with Andrew because they were 9-3 last year and didn't make the playoff. There was an argument there, but it wasn't good enough. And I don't think a 9-3 is going to have a good enough argument with what they have left, because that would require 2 more losses, and that would mean you either lose to 2 teams that are probably in the playoff, like LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, or you've lost like 2 kind of inexplicable, like you lose to Vandy at home, or losing the Iron Bowl, or losing Cocktober against South Carolina. So I think the 9-3 at this point, with how they looked in the Florida State game, is not going to be good enough. I think they got to get to 10-2 potentially.
Fair.
But with the chaos that could happen in the SEC, maybe 9-3 is enough. I'm selling though. I just don't think that they'll get that done. They're going to have to be just too consistent, even with 2 losses maybe potentially available. And yeah, it was Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin at home. Both of them games at home, so those were expected to be good performances. The litmus test is in 2 weeks against Georgia, and I have Georgia as the #1 team in the nation, so I just don't think they're going to play well in that game
We'll
either.
probably revisit this stock post
After the
that
Georgia game.
If I
What,
had
what
to
week
guess.
is that? Is that
It's in 2 weeks, so
2
it's week
weeks.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, couple.
So that's who it'll be undefeated Mississippi State and Tennessee competing for college game day against
With
them.
Penn State and Oregon as well that weekend.
That's gonna be
we're
tough.
We're not doing it.
All right, we got SEC Nation though.
Tennessee would have had to have won, and maybe
Yeah.
we get SEC Nation, but
LSU Ole Miss, I believe, is also that weekend.
yeah, that weekend is
it's chalked.
pretty stacked. Our best chance was last week. That
Actually,
weekend,
Auburn's that weekend.
Ohio State plays at Washington.
Wow.
LSU school up north. You have USC Illinois, which will be a ranked matchup. Auburn goes to College Station, as you said.
Well, maybe we could get the Fall Don't Lie tour down here.
Maybe.
Y'all are gonna get, like-
I doubt that too. He's going to Penn State, Oregon.
He will.
Uncle Rick's crawfish caboose is gonna
And
make its
then
way to town or something like
if
that.
USC
That's the best y'all gonna get that week.
if USC Illinois gets the big noon kickoff too, he probably goes to USC Illinois.
Maybe we could convince
and then goes to.
we could do like a technical foul sideline show.
I was gonna say the technical foul will be making its way to
I
town.
mean, if you can arrange that, I would love to do the simulcast like Pat McAfee does. Just
I
technical
was
foul.
thinking. I was just thinking more like a little pregame thing, and then like we'll
Oh,
just be
that'd
on
be
the
cool, too.
sidelines, have our credentials.
Cool.
Is that no? That will not be happening. LSU to make the playoff. Mont. Do we buy sell that real quick? Buy.
It's not on the list, so we're skipping it. Sorry,
Oh,
Mont.
okay.
Yeah, no.
You should have
We
responded
do have
earlier.
we do have an
earlier.
LSU one, correct? Yeah, be check your phone earlier, Mont. We do have an LSU themed one though. Buy or sell? Brian Kelly is the angriest coach in the country. I'm gonna buy because this Brody just consistently gets pressed over almost nothing in the press conferences.
Yeah, he's got some great clips.
They do
since
make great
LSU.
clips, but he just is an angry man. Like
This is the
talking
same thing that keeps happening every year.
water bottle pop.
Yeah.
Getting mad last night. If Buddy the Elf was in that room, he would say he's a very angry elf. So I'm gonna buy.
I just can't take him seriously as an angry coach because of his cringe moments as well.
Sure.
And so it's like hard to like take that seriously. I feel like he's just like he's like swings way too back and forth. I feel like to find like the angriest coach, you got to find someone who just like stays angry. You know?
Maybe. I almost think the swings make it a little more like pronounced.
That's fair. Andrew asked active. I would say
yes,
active head
Yes,
coach.
active.
Active head coach. DJ Durkin.
Both coaches have killed someone under their watch. I mean, due to like dereliction of duty type stuff.
Yes.
Not like they've actively stabbed somebody. When DJ Durkin was at Maryland, I believe, when his happened, and then we ended up bringing him to be A&M's DC.
Yes.
That was all she wrote.
I would buy. I thought the reaction post that game was insanely bad, which is that was a bad sentence. That was an insanely bad sentence. Saying insanely bad. That's not two words that go well together. But it was just poor. I don't understand the reaction. I thought
Very legitimate question from the reporter
is completely in the right. It's a very legitimate question. It's a very fine question. To have 5 interceptions, you score a pick 6 off one of them, but you score 13 points off the other 4 picks, and that doesn't even include like scripted drives, stuff like that. The offense has to be under some kind of question with how they've looked through 3 weeks. I thought last week was just a letdown spot after the big win against Clemson.
Sure.
And maybe you could make the argument that he's played 2 elite defenses, but for him to say that they played well offensively, I think it's just wrong.
He's lying.
And then to bring up like, oh, we're 17-1 in night games here at LSU since I've been here, like, yeah, but you also haven't necessarily played excellent competition. And when you've played the biggest one against Alabama last year, you got embarrassed on national television. A murder was committed on national television. So I don't think that's even enough backup. But it's a completely legitimate question, and it's another infamous clip for Brian Kelly.
That one will be remembered for sure. Did
100%.
you ever officially buy or sell, Sanders?
Yeah, I think I said I was gonna sell
Okay.
just because I feel like he also gets caught being too goofy. I feel like he's just bad at getting caught for clips. So I don't know, like the one where he like does his like dance like with the camera spinning around.
That's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Grinding on a player at a visit is just kind of crazy work.
Wow.
All right.
Wild spin move.
2
by,
more.
Bijan.
DJ Lagway, because we wanted DJ Lagway one, but DJ Lagway will be drafted above CJ Bailey. CJ Bailey being NC State's quarterback, who has really impressed scouts and me as well in the first couple weeks.
What year is Bailey? Sophomore?
He's a redshirt. Or he's a sophomore. Sorry, he's a sophomore. So there's no guarantee to even go in the same class. So like it doesn't have to be the same class, but just like even say Bailey goes a year later if he gets drafted higher. Lagway goes
Are
a
you
year later.
saying by pick or by like if Bailey is the
By pick,
first,
by pick
second
number,
quarterback?
by
okay,
pick number.
by pick number, not just like order of quarterbacks.
Scuffed question. I just wanted to be able to talk about this.
No,
really.
you good. I haven't watched any. I don't think I've seen a single second of NC State football, so I cannot answer.
You're missing great football, by the way. Him and Hollywood Smothers are a fantastic duo.
Wait, did I watch? I do
yeah.
remember. I definitely watched them because I remember
We
talking
were
about Hollywood
watching them
Smothers.
the other night. Were we not?
Was that a Friday? Did they play Friday night? Thursday night? They played Thursday night against Wake Forest.
Correct.
Yes.
So I did watch some of them. Never mind.
But you weren't impressed, clearly.
Yeah,
'Cause you
no,
don't remember him.
I was clearly not impressed because I don't remember him. I would still I'm just gonna talk after having said that I didn't watch any CJ.
You gotta
Bailey
buy
film.
or sell. We're not letting you out of
I'm
this one.
buying DJ Lagway just because I feel like the 5-star talent and the hype can carry a lot of weight. And I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen any of CJ Bailey, and therefore cannot speak to that. And so I'm going to pick DJ Lagway. I'm going to buy DJ Lagway, or buy him going ahead of CJ Bailey.
I'm buying as well. As I said in my preview for Florida, Lagway is going to be a star eventually because he throws well from any base. He's accurate, beautiful spiral, catchable ball, pocket awareness, arm strength, touch. He's a excellent, talented quarterback. And I think the biggest indictment on Florida this year has been lack of innovative play calling.
It's been terrible, as McBride is saying in the chat.
And not that it helps with the picks he threw on Saturday, but it's also like for it to all happen in one game, maybe it potentially gets chalked up to just that game. And it's also, if you ever, not that, again, I keep bringing video games in the conversation, but it's applicable to me. Sometimes you just get in games, you just keep throwing picks. It just happens. You just keep making mistakes. I think Lagway's got a ton of time to develop, and his talent is too high to not be drafted higher than CJ Bailey.
Sure.
Right now.
I love CJ Bailey, but I'm also going to buy because I think Lagway's going to be drafted very high. I think we're going to see CJ Bailey to continue to rise, and he will also get drafted high, but just maybe not enough to get in over DJ Lagway. I think Florida is just kind of criminally mishandling his development and his situation.
Which I hate to see because it was really fun watching him last year as he kind of like stormed onto the scene as a freshman. And
DJ, you could be at A&M right now beating Notre Dame. That is a possibility for you, but I guess we'll just have to settle with our Heisman, Marcel Reed, according to one of the Herb Street sons. I'm blanking on his first name, but
Zach
Herb Street
he's got Marcel Reed winning the Heisman.
Apparently, according to the graphic.
Wow. All right.
All right, last one.
Completely possible.
Notre Dame will make the playoffs, buy or sell. They basically have to win out.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say they have to win out.
Yes. They have a couple tough games left on their schedule, looking at Arkansas, looking at USC, but nothing too much of a gauntlet. But even if it's not a gauntlet, like I said, they have to win out. So basically,
They have to be
they can win
impressive,
out.
too.
Yes. They
Yeah,
could get
because
left out at 10-2.
We saw a 10-2 team get left out last year in Miami. Were they the only ones? I said them like that. There was a list.
Yeah.
I can't remember. They were the only
Off
ones.
the top of my head, yes.
Okay. And I don't think in Miami. Did Miami have a good resume win?
No, they played basically no one, and then just had bad losses to Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
Yeah. So I could see the thing that Notre Dame has to their advantage right now is their 2 losses are against teams who look better than Syracuse and Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech ended up looking good down the stretch last season.
They were 7-5.
Right.
So I don't even know if that's
They
necessarily
looked
the case.
They looked
But
good.
they did.
They were a
I mean,
fan
they went
favorite,
toe-to-toe with Georgia.
Yeah, they had good games.
Yeah.
Miami and A&M are both ranked in the top 10 right now, which helps out Notre Dame's case. If they do end up going 10-2, they would not be in quite the same shoes as Miami was last year. And they do have USC left on the schedule. They're ranked right now. That could be a good win. But I think I'm going to sell. I think that even at 10-2, you could see a 9-3 SEC team potentially get in with 1 or 2 top 25 wins. So I'm going to sell on that.
I'm selling too. I don't think they have the wins that can get them there. And they would have to be, I think, insanely impressive and dominate a ton, which I think they have the profile of player to do it. But I just don't think it's going to happen. And I do think that a 9-3 SEC or, I mean, easily a 9-3 SEC or Big Ten team is going to have a better resume than this.
Yeah.
With your best win being at Arkansas or hosting USC right now. You're just gonna have better wins.
And USC could still end up being 6-6. You never know.
Yeah, one of those SEC teams is gonna have beaten LSU or Georgia or
A&M's
Texas
9-3 and they beat you.
And yes, A&M beat you. Miami, if they were to lose the ACC championship, well, they've beaten you. That's the argument there. So neither of those losses help them. I'm selling.
Y'all make very valid points. I do believe in something, however, of the luck of the Irish. They kind of seem to find ways to sneak in, get the job done. I even think of the year when A&M finished 5th in 2020, and they snuck in at 4th. So I'm gonna buy because I think there's some good value here, and I could really see it happening. But I do acknowledge it's a bold buy for me, but I'm gonna wrap it up with a bold buy.